Thank you so much for touching my heart and so many other people around the world. I was wondering if you might consider designating a time every day that the whole world continues the walk, but within ourselves, say 5 o'clock in the morning or something around the world, so that we can all continue with this amazing energy that you've provided for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. You know, before this walk, I lead the meditation over Zoom every day, twice a day. There's a couple hundred of people joining. And I have to do that a lot. And since during this walk, a lot of people request to, what about after Washington DC, what's going to happen? Or you going to do something online or something like that? And I said, we probably will have an online sessions for all of us who practice together. Because meditation, mindfulness meditation, what I show, what I share is not all yet. That is just the beginning. Right? We'll take step by step. But what I share for the last 110 days are just the beginning for us to know how to come back to this present moment. But there's a lot more to do. And of course, I want to continue to share because I can see the benefits of it to all the people. And so definitely I will make my time. If all of us and the people around the world who would like to join together to practice together. To be honest with you, meditation, if we practice alone, we give up very easily because it's boring, that I already said. No motivation. Basically, no more motivation. So when we have a group sessions and things like that, it motivates us more. That person can do, why can't I? Right? So I will try my best to come up with the time for us to join together online sessions. And I'm glad that I be able to do something like that. Because whenever I can help, whenever I can do something to contribute to the world, to our nations, I love to. That is the life of the Buddhist monk. If we could help, even if I have to sacrifice my life to help, I would. I'm happy to. So I will work on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do we shape our neighbor? My message when I talk about this, I said, if we care enough for our neighbors, our people around us, it means that we need to stay in the middle path. We need to practice for ourselves. And then from there, we share, we spread. Protecting the others, it doesn't mean that we have to do something else. But it means that we care and we care for them. We love them enough to share with them what is best, which is what I have been talk about for many days. Peace, it comes with a condition that's not peace. In any conditions, if we still be able to stay neutral, if we be able to stay calm with loving kindness and compassion, that is the true peace. It doesn't matter what this world turned into. It doesn't matter what happening right there, out there, surround us. If we keep on reacting, it's just going to add more trouble to it. It's not going to solve anything. And this is what happened. It's been happening for so long that anything happen, all of us jump into it. Create more trouble, create more problem. It cannot solve the problem. Even if we can solve the problem, it's violent. And that is why For us as Buddhist monks, we are not creating any more problem or violence. Instead, loving kindness and compassion and mindfulness technique that could resolve all these. Hatred can never cease hatred. Only loving kindness can cease hatred. It means that if we can live peacefully, if we can protect ourselves, means don't do anything harmful to ourselves and to the others. If every single one of us living like that, there's nothing to protect about. There's nothing to fight about. And this is just the beginning of peace that we've been talking about. That we have to practice every day. And of course, within over 3 months, almost 4 months, you see how many people join in this mission? Millions and millions joining already. It's fast. For us, this number of followers to this mission, practicing on this path, is way too fast. And I truly believe will continue growing, because this is something that we don't have to fight for it. This is something that is already with us. All we need to do is just unlock it. And once we unlock it, this nation, this world, obviously it will change. That is why I guide the metta meditation, the loving kindness meditation, for the group of people like this practicing together. Radiate that loving kindness is still weak. It's powerful, but still weak. But imagine 3, 5 times, 10 times, 100,000 times of this amount of people doing it together every single day. That energy alone, that positive energy, radiate throughout this world. It's very powerful. It changes everything. Mind over everything. Right? Anything happening in this world right now, or it's just because of this. Now we just chant this, and it will change everything. Thank you. Yes, I do have one book. That's my first book. The Path, Following the Path of the Buddha. That is the book where I wrote after I walked in India for 112 days. And that is when we found Aloka. Yes, I will have another book after this walk. Thank you.
I'd like to first thank you for re-inspiring me to pick up my practice again, because I thought I felt the light there, and I wasn't sure where I was in all of this. And a couple of my teachers were practicing this, and I just am so grateful to have experienced you. It always just invites me back into being what I truly knew was me. Thank you so very much. And I did have one question. I know that a couple of you sleep sitting up. And I have my own idea.
How did you know that? You spied on us?
I have my own ideas about that, but I would like to know if there is a significance to that.
Sleep, sitting upright like this. Yes, yes. So this is one of the practice for mostly forest monk. When we practice, we call Dudanga. It's a 13 steps, 13 practicing. Sitting, refrain from lying down. It's because, when we have 6 senses, right? One of the senses is this touching, this body. This body, we always love to touch something that is soft and nice, right? Sensations. When we sit on hard surface, on lying down on hard surface, it's very difficult. The reaction. And so we always want to lie on a really, really nice and soft bed and things like that. So sitting upright like this is to stay away from lying down to any type of desire or attachment. That is one way to practice. This is not the only way, but this is one way that we practice like this. This is also determination, patience, and effort.
And it's a
Discipline. Yes. So for the first few days, 10 days, it's very difficult. You cannot sleep. Of course, even now, when we sit and sleep like this, we cannot have a straight night of sleep. During this walk, it's even worse. It's because when you walk that much, and at night time when you lie down to sleep, all those blood is rushing right to the feet and so on. So usually some doctor advise to hang our feet up high so that the blood can go however that is, I don't know, okay? But when we sit like this after a long day of walking, and when we sit like this, it's very weird feeling down there, at least 2 feet. Super weird, and I don't know how to explain, how to describe it. But we never have a straight night of sleep. Never. Back pain, neck pain, leg pain, everything. It's not easy. But that doesn't bother us because we are the only person who decide to do this, who choose to do this, and if we manage our emotion and feelings, all these will not bother us. Thank you. The person all the way at the back. Yes.
First of all, I'd like to say that you have been in my life, and I'm not where I was. The question is, do temples generally have opportunity for people to come in and meditate there, or something that needs to be?
Yes. So our temple in Fort Worth, Texas, not many people knows about it. Back then, they thought it's a restaurant or something, Asian restaurant. That's why when we started to walk in Texas, a lot of people, they drive by and they stop by and look at the monks and video. I never know that this monk exists in Texas. And so yes, all the Buddhist temples are open for public. And anybody can come to the temple and practice. And our temple is one of the temples that people love to go there because we have a meditation garden as well. Before they go to work, they just come to the temple and they do the walking meditation around that garden. And they go into the shrine hall to do some breathing before they take off to go to work. And a lot of students from university, high school, and middle school also come and practice and learn too at our temple. So probably all the Buddhist temples are open for public. But if there's restriction, then there's probably language barrier. That's the only obstacle in between, but other than that, it's open for public. If you already have the method, if you already know how to practice yourself, you can more than welcome to come to the temple and ask permission, just allow you to stay in the shrine hall or wherever just to practice yourself if they cannot talk in English. Yes, but those are the places that could help you because the environment. Yes.
Thank you. It's pertaining to the phones again. I struggle personally with feeling like I was not to grow into that, all the things that I should feel that I need to know about, and I don't want to feel like I'm ignoring things that I need to know. And so I'm struggling with what to do with that. And I would love to have nothing but I
Yes, ma'am. So living in this world, we are not ignoring anything, right? We just have to live the way we live. But then, when you take in anything, you have to be mindful with it. Like the venerable monks, when we stay in a temple, we become advisor, guider to a lot of people, right? And all the people when come and talk with us, we listen. As I shared earlier, we listen. But we are not letting all those problems and all those things from the people, and then we suffer the same way as them, or we take all those into us and then we become stressful or anything like that. That's why we have to be mindful with everything when we listen, when we talk, when we think, when we hear. This is very important. And in order for you to do that, you have to be very mindful, practice mindfulness. And then after you're mindful enough, you'll be able to manage all your emotion and feelings. You can do any of those things without any problem. It's just that when we are not, our mind is not strong, not focused, stay focused, then when we listen to a lot of things, when we do a lot of things, we draw to it, and then we follow it, and then we suffer ourselves. So be mindful, practice that so that you can manage all those emotions and feelings. Okay? Yes, sir. I am very shiny and I am is very heavy. These are the 4th batch.
Oh, wow.
Okay, the first 3 I took off already. And it started from Pearland, Houston. One of the police department, they invited us to their office. The first time ever that while they escorted us, they invited to their office station to take a rest. At that time, my member was like, they track us and they say, "What are you doing in there in the police station? What's going on?" I say, "I don't know. The police asked us to go in there and every single one of us go in there. It's okay." And so after they feed us with some snacks and water, and then they present us a badge and a challenge coin. And started from there. After that, this next one was the chief, the sheriff. He presented me a pin, a really nice one. And somehow after that, every department, after escorting us, they honored to put on one. And so appreciate to this walk, and also it means that they are joining with this walk as well. So I have a lot, but not just sheriff, police, fire department, EMS. We have all those departments, and even SWAT team also came out to support us as well. Beside all those, there are charities, organizations, after seeing me wearing so much pins and badges, they also present me. And then after that, real estate agent also wanted to pin on me. When I see some name, and then the name of the business and then the name of the agent and say realtor, I say, okay. I say, I am not promoting anyone. I'm promoting peace. But it's a way to pay appreciation at that time when they don't have anything else. So it's just fun, something to remember, to laugh, but it's, out from love and support. So I have a lot of pins, different pins, but I cannot put everything on here. Usually I put it on and then take it off, so people can be happy with it, at least, right? And I just keep all those from police departments to show support, and that is how we bring people together from government to the civilians, because this is the time where we have to live together No more division, no more separation. That's why all of us should be like that. The world should be like that. So yes, it's heavy and I have a lot. Thank you, sir.
In a world that often feels like it is spinning faster than our ability to comprehend it, the simple act of placing one foot in front of the other can become a radical declaration of presence. We tend to view peace as a destination, a distant horizon we might reach once all our problems are solved, our bills are paid, and the world quiets down. But the profound lesson emerging from the walk for peace is that peace is not the destination, it is the terrain itself. It is the manner in which we travel. When we witness the journey of a pilgrim, someone who has committed their entire existence to the rhythm of the road, we are not just watching a physical feat of endurance. We are witnessing a mirror held up to our own lives. We see that every step taken in mindfulness is a step away from the chaotic noise of modern distraction and a step toward the sanctuary of the inner self. The journey of 1,000 miles, or even the journey of a single difficult day, begins with the intention to simply be here, right now. It is easy to look at a monk walking across a continent and feel a sense of awe, perhaps even a sense of distance, thinking such feats are reserved for the spiritually elite. Yet, the message that resonates from the road is one of profound accessibility. The walk is not about the miles, it is about the heart. It is about the willingness to wake up, perhaps at 5 o'clock in the morning, while the rest of the world sleeps, and align our internal compass with the North Star of compassion. This amazing energy that the Venerable speaks of is not a superpower. It is a natural resource inherent in every human being, waiting to be tapped. It asks us to consider, what if we, too, designated a time to walk within ourselves? What if we stopped waiting for the world to change and decided that the change would begin with our own breath, our own step, our own refusal to add more noise to the clamor? However, the realization quickly dawns that while the decision to walk the path of peace is personal, the journey cannot be sustained in isolation. We are social creatures, wired for connection, and the solitary practice of mindfulness can sometimes feel like a lonely uphill climb. There is a candid admission in the spiritual life that is often overlooked: practicing alone can be incredibly difficult. Without the buoyancy of a community, or sangha, the mind wanders. Motivation wanes. The silence, rather than being restorative, can become heavy or, as the Venerable charmingly puts it, simply boring. We might find ourselves giving up because the fire of intention, when left tending by only one pair of hands, can flicker and die in the winds of daily stress. This is where the transformative power of togetherness becomes essential. In our modern era, the village square has been replaced by digital spaces, by screens that connect us across time zones. When we gather, whether in a physical meditation hall or a virtual room with hundreds of others, something shifts. We see another person sitting in stillness, fighting their own internal battles, and we think, if they can do it, why can't I? The collective energy of a group creates a slipstream. It is a reminder that our individual peace contributes to a reservoir of global peace. When we sit together, even miles apart, we are radiating a specific frequency. The Venerable suggests that while individual loving kindness is powerful, it is still fragile. But magnify that by 10, by 100, by 1,000,000, and you have a force capable of shifting the atmosphere of the planet. This is mind over everything. It is the understanding that the mental environment we create together is just as real, and just as impactful, as the physical environment we inhabit. We are not just walking for ourselves, we are walking each other home. Yet, this collective energy must be grounded in a rigorous, unshakable internal reality. It is easy to be peaceful when we are surrounded by friends, when the sun is shining, and when the road is flat. But the true test of mindfulness, the middle path, is finding a center of gravity that holds when the storm breaks. There is a piercing truth in the teaching that peace with conditions is not peace. If our serenity is dependent on the world behaving exactly as we want it to, we are not peaceful. We are merely lucky for a moment. True peace is unconditional. It is a fortress built from the inside out. It requires us to look at the volatility of the world, the conflicts, the arguments, the unpredictability of our neighbors or our nations, and choose a response that de-escalates rather than ignites. We live in a reactive culture. When something happens out there, our instinct is to jump in, to add our voice to the fray, often creating more trouble in our attempt to solve it. We mistake agitation for action. The wisdom of the middle path invites us to a different kind of strength, the strength of neutrality. This is not indifference. It is the high ground of compassion. It is the refusal to let the external chaos colonize our internal state. If we react with anger to anger, we have only doubled the amount of anger in the world. As the Venerable reminds us, hatred can never cease hatred. Only loving kindness can cease hatred. This is not a poetic sentiment. It is a practical law of physics for the soul. Protecting ourselves and our neighbors doesn't mean picking up a weapon or launching a verbal attack. It means engaging in the radical act of harmlessness. If every single person simply committed to doing no harm, to themselves or others, there would be nothing left to fight about. This is the beginning of peace, a peace that stands tall regardless of the weather. But how do we cultivate this kind of unbreakable peace? It is not achieved through intellectual assent, but through the crucible of physical and mental discipline. The path is not paved with velvet, it is often paved with discomfort. There is a fascinating, almost gritty reality to the monastic training described by the Venerable, practices designed to confront our deepest attachments to comfort. Consider the practice of Dhutanga, specifically the vow to refrain from lying down, sleeping only in a sitting position. To the modern mind, obsessed with ergonomic mattresses and optimized sleep cycles, this sounds like torture. But in the context of deep spiritual training, it is a masterclass in overcoming desire. We are addicted to the soft and nice. Our senses differ little from a child seeking a soft blanket. We crave pleasant sensations and recoil from the unpleasant. When we walk all day and our feet throb with the rush of blood, or when our backs ache from sitting upright through the night, the body screams for relief. It screams for the horizontal release of the bed. But the practitioner stays upright. Why? To prove to the mind that it is not a slave to the body's whims. We are the only person who decides to do this, the Venerable asserts. This is the reclamation of sovereignty. By staying with the discomfort, the weird sensations, the aches, the fatigue, we learn that we can survive feelings we thought were unbearable. We learn to manage our emotions rather than letting our sensations manage us. We discover that pain is physical, but suffering is the story we tell ourselves about that pain. When we drop the story, when we stop fighting the reality of the moment, even the discomfort becomes just another sensation, passing like a cloud across the vast sky of awareness. This discipline of filtering what we engage with extends far beyond the physical body. It is desperately needed in our relationship with the digital world. We are currently living through an era of information obesity. We are constantly fed a diet of tragedy, outrage, and noise through the glowing rectangles in our pockets. Many of us feel the urge, as one questioner poignantly admitted, to simply throw it in the trash, to disconnect completely because the influx feels like a violation of our peace. We fear that if we don't know everything, we are failing as citizens, yet if we consume everything, we are failing ourselves. The mindfulness perspective offers a middle way between total ignorance and total inundation. We are not asked to ignore the world, we are asked to be mindful of how we metabolize it. The monk listens to the troubles of hundreds of people, acting as a guide and advisor, yet he does not take that suffering into his own marrow. He listens, but he does not absorb. This is the distinction between empathy and identification. When we scroll through our feeds or watch the news, we must stand at the gate of our own consciousness. We must ask, am I witnessing this with compassion, or am I drowning in it? If our mind is not strong, if our focus is scattered, we are dragged into the current of every headline, and we drown. We become useless to others because we are gasping for air ourselves. To be truly helpful, to be a light in the dark, we must maintain our own charge. We must treat our attention as a sacred resource, spending it wisely rather than letting it be stolen by the algorithms of outrage. We can know what is happening without letting it destroy our inner sanctuary. When we successfully clear this internal noise, when we detach from the addiction to comfort and the addiction to distraction, we begin to see the world with startling clarity. We start to see people not as categories, but as fellow travelers. One of the most touching images from the Walk for Peace is the Venerable's collection of badges and pins. Here is a Buddhist monk, walking in robes, whose chest is weighed down by the shiny tokens of police officers, sheriffs, SWAT teams, and real estate agents. In a polarized society, we are taught to see these groups as distinct, perhaps even opposed. We see uniforms, labels, and professions. But on the road of peace, those barriers dissolve. The police officer offering a badge is not performing a bureaucratic act. They are offering a piece of their heart, a symbol of protection and connection. The real estate agent pinning a name tag is not promoting a business. They are saying, I see you, and I want to be part of this goodness. These pins are heavy, physically, but spiritually they are light as air because they represent the shedding of division. No more division, no more separation. This is the ultimate fruit of mindfulness, the realization that there is no them, there is only us. When we approach the world with a heart free of judgment, the world responds in kind. The uniform melts away, and we are left with human beings who, regardless of their role, are hungry for peace. We see that everyone wants to contribute, everyone wants to pin their hope onto something tangible. By receiving these gifts with humor and grace, putting them on and taking them off so the weight doesn't become a burden, we participate in a joyful exchange of humanity. We create a community that transcends politics and profession, bound together by the simple recognition of our shared desire for a harmonious life. Ultimately, this entire journey, from the blisters on the feet to the stillness of the meditation cushion, from the solitude of the road to the connection with the police officer, points to a singular, empowering truth. Peace is not something we have to fight for. It is not a trophy we win at the end of a war. It is an inheritance we have forgotten to claim. The Venerable reminds us that this nature is already with us. It is baked into our DNA. All we are doing through mindfulness, through walking, through sitting, through loving, is unlocking what is already inside. We spend so much of our lives searching for keys to doors that were never locked. We look for peace in a new job, a new relationship, a new government, or a new phone. But the nation we need to unlock is the kingdom of our own mind. Once we turn that key, the world changes, not because the external circumstances have magically rearranged themselves, but because we are seeing them through the lens of a liberated heart. The energy we radiate changes the room we walk into. The stillness we carry calms the person standing next to us. Mind over everything is not a slogan, it is the mechanism of reality. By committing to this path, by refusing to harbor hatred, by embracing discomfort as a teacher, and by connecting deeply with our fellow beings, we become the change we have been waiting for. We unlock the world, simply by unlocking ourselves.